All right. Hey, everyone. Hope everyone's okay there at home. As you know, I've been working hard to convert our class to an online format. Sorry it's taken me a little longer than expected to get this information to you. I've been working from home, and well, since my kids are also out of school, it's been a little more complicated than I'd expected. Anyway, I put an updated syllabus on Canvas for you, but I decided that it might be easier for you if I did this video walkthrough to walk you through all the changes. So just remember, my goal in all of this is to to preserve a really good learning experience for all of you. So anyway, if you've got the syllabus, you can see it right here in front of me. The changes that have been made are highlighted in yellow. And one of the first things that I'll point out is that since we're moving to online, everything, we obviously won't have that face-to-face communication. So I've you'll notice WebEx through Canvas is something that we're going to be using a lot. But if you want to get a hold of me quickly, then I've created this QR code for a group that I've created for our class. Actually, both of my 357 sections. So anyway, let me walk you through the syllabus right now and show you some of these changes that we've got going on. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down here in the syllabus and get to, remember, all the changes are highlighted in yellow. So the first change that I'll point out is under quizzes. Okay, as you know, we've got our quizzes, but as of Monday, all of our quizzes are now open book. Right? I know. I'm sorry about doing that to you. They're open book, but not open people. So you can use the textbook, but please don't collaborate with anyone else in any way when you're taking the quizzes. Remember, the quizzes you have 45 minutes to complete them. So what will happen is that the quizzes will be open for a certain amount of time. That means that you can access them during that time. You can start at any point during that, but you must finish within 45 minutes, and that 45 minutes has to come before the deadline. So make sure that you start at least 45 minutes before the deadline for that. So that's quizzes. And moving on, our final exam will also be online and also open book. So the final exam, just like the quizzes, will be open for a certain amount of time. And it's open book, but again, not open people. So make sure that you study ahead of time so that you can use the book, but you will still only have a limited amount of time to complete it once you start the final exam. So you'll have 90 minutes to complete it once you start it, and look at the schedule. You can see when it will be open and when it's due. So make sure you start, again, 90 minutes before the deadline. Okay, so that's quizzes and the final exam as well. Then we get into the team project. Okay, so for our team project, it's really important to remember that working in teams, you need to coordinate. Now, it's a lot easier to do face-to-face, but since you're not meeting face-to-face, you should practice using WebEx. If you want to use a separate GroupMe for your team, that's fine. Whatever you can do to stay in good communication with your teams, that's going to be really important. The presentation that you give in your teams will be through WebEx. It'll be a live presentation to the class and to our client through WebEx, and you're going to have a lot of times before the end of when you present, to practice using WebEx as a team. And so I'd highly recommend that you take advantage of those. And I'll show you the schedule so you can see when you'll be able to do that. So again, that's changes for the team presentation there. All right, so now let's get into the schedule. The schedule, all the changes in the schedule are highlighted in this yellow box here. Okay, so notice that, obviously we had classes last week, were canceled, but then we've got our guest speaker still this Monday, and he'll be joining us through WebEx. It's going to be an awesome presentation, so go ahead and join on that. Anytime that you see live class via WebEx on the schedule, what that means is that we'll be having a live session. It'll be through WebEx, so you can join through that, and I'll be putting a video on Canvas that will show you how to use WebEx if you haven't done that already. I will record all of those anytime. So we've live class here, live class here, live class here. Anytime we have that, I will record those. So if you end up having any sort of audio technical issues, then you'll be able to go back and watch the presentation afterwards. So don't worry too much about that. But we'll have a live class on March 23rd, and then we'll have 2 live classes, one on March 25th, that Wednesday, and March 30th. And those are going to be, by the way, the same time that we've had class. So if your class has been 2:30 to 3:45, that's when these live classes will be. If your class has been 4 to 5:15, that's when these live classes will be. Okay. So then on March 25th and March 30th, what I'm asking your team to do is simply critically appraise an article that you found from your own search and bring 1 to 2 questions to the live session, and I'll be answering those in the live session. That's what that's going to be. You won't need to present anything at that point, okay? And then for the rest of the semester, so after this next week, we're going to stay with the same routine where you'll complete an OLI module online the night before we would have class. And then we'll have a live WebEx session, very similar to what we did in class, where I'll go through and answer your questions. The quiz then will be open the following day. So you need to complete Module 9. We'll talk about it on April 1st. That means you need to complete it March 31st by 11:59 p.m., right? And then we'll talk about it on April 1st. And then the quiz will be open April 2nd. It's going to be open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you can access it online anytime in that period of time. And then you'll have 45 minutes to finish it, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing the following weeks. And that's just going to be on Wednesdays is when we'll meet. On Mondays, we're not going to have an online class, but I will be online basically sitting in a WebEx room from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And during that time, teams from either section can come in, and there's no appointment necessary. Just enter the WebEx room. There'll be a link on Canvas, and I'll be there to help you. Okay, so that's what that time is going to be. If you use that time wisely, you can get a lot of help. And if you join and I'm working with another team, that's fine. Just come and listen. This isn't a competitive project, so it benefits you're benefited by listening to the advice I'm giving to other teams as well. Okay. We'll have our comprehensive final on April 29th. That's going to be open from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. Again, you have 90 minutes to finish it, so make sure you start at least 90 minutes before 5:30 p.m. Okay, and then your slides and peer evaluations are due on May 1st and May 2nd. And then, depending on what section you're in, you'll be presenting again live through WebEx on May 4th or May 6th. So anyway, that's what I've got for you. If you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, you can join that group me that I've created for our classes, or send me an email as always, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So anyway, hope you all have a great time, and I'll see you all next week.